templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook, and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to pull some cards and share some guidance for this week ahead. That's starting yesterday. Well, it could be today for you, Wednesday, the 21st of June, through till Tuesday, the 27th of June, 2023. I'll be using my cards here that I created. My Animal Kingdom Oracle cards have been combined with my Speed of Light Oracle cards, and I'll be using this deck of 110 cards to find the best cards that the majority of us need for this week ahead. I'm kind of backdating because I didn't have time to connect yesterday when I would usually do the reading on Wednesdays, my time. So I'm actually doing this Thursday. So I will go back to Wednesday because some of you are in Wednesday now. And plus it's good to reflect back sometimes, and sometimes it's good to have cards that come up that on a day or something that we've already been through, so I'll be doing that. So think of this as a guide only. Take on board what feels right and what resonates and what fits into your life easily, and let the rest go. And let's see what comes up today. So I'm shuffling the cards, and but actually before I focus on this week, let's just quickly reflect on our theme card for last week, which was the Lotus Heart. And this was reminding us to try and stay connected to our heart and try and stay aligned with peace. And that proved to be perhaps a bit of a challenge for some of us in some instances last week or over this last 7 days. So let's see what our new week's focus is as we turn our attention to this week. And I'm asking the cards now to show us, the majority of us, what we need to know for Wednesday the 21st of June through to Tuesday the 27th of June 2023. So the best cards that the majority of us need are these. And I'm going to just lay these cards down now, face down in front of me. So just excuse me a second. So we've got 3 Animal Kingdom, then 3, which is 1 Speed of Light, and 2 Animal Kingdom. And then I'm just going to add 1 down here at the bottom, which is a Speed of Light Oracle cards. So we've got lots of Animal Kingdom. Let's turn these guys over and see what we've got. Oh, happy solstice too to everybody. I just hosted our 6 monthly solstice gathering for members, and we pulled some cards. It was fantastic actually. So thank you all for joining in. So we do have 2 featured cards. The first one we're going to look at is the seasonal cycle card. This is a featured timing card, and up here it has further instructions which say to take the 3rd card from the top of the deck. Excuse me. So I'm going down to card number 3, and it's this. This was our theme last week. So the Lotus Heart has come up again. And then the other featured card is the White Tiger. It has further instructions here which say to split the deck and take the top card. So I'm just going to split, and we'll go with this card, which is the Unicorn. Also, we do have 1 dragon, so send me your dragon prediction. We've got potentially 5 dragons in the deck. Well, there are 5 dragons in the deck. So we've got one of those potential 5. So we're looking at the elements of fire, water, air, earth, and then spirit dragon. So leave a comment with your prediction of the dragon. We'll get to that later. So we're starting with the card for Wednesday, the 21st of June, which is yesterday, my time. And we have the ladybug. The fire or the spirit dragon. Let's have a look soon. Here's your prediction. Card 31, the ladybug says that it's a favourable time. So we may find that Wednesday, or yesterday, in my case, for some of us, that things actually turned out better than we thought they would. And we probably didn't have high hopes for success, let's say, or for a positive outcome or a positive occurrence. But there are indicators here with this card that things may have turned out more positive and more successful than we were led to believe prior to Wednesday. So there's a good luck element around for Wednesday. and a feeling here of abundance as well. So that's for Wednesday the 21st. And now we move to Thursday the 22nd of June, which is today for me. And we have these two cards, Seasonal Cycle and the Lotus Heart. Seasonal Cycle is a timing card, so it talks about 3-month time period. And if it comes up on the solstice, then it's even more powerful, and it's literally come up on the day of the solstice. Oh, yes, that's true. And the Lotus Heart is number 22 for the 22nd. So this is amplifying all this energy right now, and there does seem to be a general amplification just coming off our solstice gathering that we just had. So seasonal cycle talks about from now to around September, the equinox in September, that this is a really important time period now, a 3-month cycle, and something to keep in mind for this 3-month cycle, being card 22 on the for the 22nd, is Lotus Heart, our theme for last week. It says Om mantra, meditate, reconnect, and peace. So this is about, I feel it's about reconnecting with what's truly important to us now, and especially reconnecting with things that are sit closely in our heart, and maybe that align with our peace. Maybe we've been stirring up a hornet's nest unnecessarily, and it's time to find peace now. Maybe we need to apologize or make a wrong right. Maybe we need to admit to ourselves or others that we made a mistake, and that we're sorry that we made that mistake, or jump to conclusions. Maybe we've been too stressful and too negatively focused. Perhaps maybe feeling a bit too, well, not that there's any nice feelings of insecurity, but maybe we've been feeling insecurity and fear of the unknown or the changes that we're approaching at this time. And we're being reminded over this next 3 months to find our peace as we move through it. Let's not make things more complicated than they need to be, or more negative than they need to be, or more of a misery than they need to be. Let's try and stay peaceful and connected in our heart for approximately the next 3 months. On Friday, the 23rd of June, we have our friend, the Wolf, card 21, and it says Your Battle Companion. This card came up last week, I'm quite sure of it. And this is a support card coming in for Friday. Because it came up last week, and the same with the Lotus Heart, there's a general feeling of these energies still hovering around. So this may not be specifically for Friday, but it's reminding us that we're supported as we walk through this kind of battlefield, this minefield, this war, this stuff, the challenges that we're facing at this time, which aren't easy. There's some quite difficult challenges and things that we're facing and working our way through at this time. So we have support. We're not doing it alone. And even though we may feel like our path has disappeared from under our feet, our path is still there. We may feel a bit disorientated at the moment too, as we're trying to work out which way to go or the best thing to do in this situation. But we might not be able to make that decision yet. Sometimes we've just got to let time kind of tick on by a little bit. Sometimes we need more information. Sometimes we need to research. Sometimes we need the results of something, or an expert's opinion or feedback. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for these sorts of things, it might be helpful for us to find patience. And I feel the words there connecting, peace and patience. Maybe peace is patience. Maybe if we feel patience, then we feel peace. So there's a key here, it feels a key element, especially for Thursday and Friday, but in general at the moment, around peace and patience. They feel linked in, they feel locked together. So see how that resonates for you. Okay, so now we got to Saturday. Saturday the 24th of June, and we have Harmony, card 43. And it says sound, tuned in, expression, music, and song. So this is obviously highlighting music and sound, and this could be really important. In fact, I found this very helpful yesterday while I was getting a little bit worked up, and I was like, okay, I can't approach this thing in a negative way. So then I put on some music and was just singing my heart out, probably why I can't speak that well today. And, my voice is a bit funny today. Just singing and connecting with music just to take our mind off things that are serious for us at this time, to help us get into a clearer and more positive mindset before we have a meeting or before we talk to someone or before we do this or do that that we might be facing in our life. In general, too, on Saturday, this is about finding our balance and our harmony and aligning, tuning ourselves back up into tune. So if we were tuning an instrument, a musical instrument that we played, finding the tuning, the note that's in tune. So where are we out of tune in our life? Where are we out of alignment or out of balance or out of harmony? And what do we need to do? And the key may be connected with music, it may be something else, to bring us back into tune again with ourselves and maybe back into tune with our heart. There's an element of communication and highlighting the throat chakra, and I see I've got lots of blue on today. So that's for Saturday. Sunday the what? The 25th of June. We have the Condor. The Condor is card 50 and it says to expand your horizons. So this is avoiding tunnel vision on something where we feel fixed in our attitude or our mood or our behavior or our belief or how things are or who someone is, that we might feel fixed or tunnel visioned in that space or with that thing. We've been encouraged with the Condor on Sunday to expand that tunnel vision and look further now, look broader, expand our vision of things. We have to be sometimes willing to put our swords down, to put down our weapons if we're in fight mode, for example. We may need to drop our blinkers off and be willing to see more potential for solutions, more potential for opportunities or options that might be available that we didn't realize before. So there's a sense here of stepping outside the box as well. So taking the blinkers off and removing our tunnel vision is like stepping outside the box and seeing things from more angles, more perspectives and viewpoints, so we can potentially see more of the bigger picture. And then this takes us towards the horizon. The horizon, what is that? That's our life's path ahead. That's where we're going. Where are we going? Do you have much hope for yourself in your current vision for your future? Are you seeing things in a very narrow way because you might not be feeling much hope or much support at this time? So things are looking quite narrow and quite pessimistic for you in your future outlook. Well, if we can take steps, especially around Sunday, that feels favorable, to drop that attitude and maybe adapt more of an attitude or adopt more of an attitude of gratitude, then that also might help us see more of potential. Oh, well, actually, this might be an option, or that, or this or that, and we might start seeing more potential than we did before. So let's be careful we don't have tunnel vision, especially by the time we get to Sunday. Now, Monday, we're on to our dragon. So the dragon for Monday, the 26th, is card 25, the Earth Dragon. And the Earth Dragon says physical reformation. This feels to me like things are changing in our life. There's parts of our life, and this can include our body, our relationships with other people, and our life itself in general, things around us in our life that are changing. There's this sense of there is this sense of molding and changing and moving things to find a new place or a new way. So something that might need molding up or sculpting up in our life may not have come up before, and there might be other things that we've had given attention to that we want to sort of subdue or have drop into the background. So there feels to be this a really slow rhythmic juggling or working out what needs to stay, what needs to go, as we're reforming our life and our relationship with our life across the board. So our health probably connected here, and all the things that make up our physical life experience. So where do we want to go in the future? Are we happy or content or accepting of where it looks like we're going? or do we need to expand that tunnel vision and work out a new terrain now, a new path, or a new pasture for ourselves, a new area of the earth that calls to us, perhaps? So that's a powerful card to have for Monday. Tuesday, the 27th, we've got our featured card here, the tiger and the unicorn. So let's look at the tiger on its own first. It's card 48, and it says schedule, routine, adjustment, and management. By the time we get to Tuesday, it might be really important for us to assess or look at how we're spending our time, and to make sure we're not making time excuses for things. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for this. Is that an excuse, or is that real? Might be something to ask ourselves. Sometimes it is going to be real, but it's good to check in and make sure we're not just making time excuses because we're trying to get out of something, and it's easy to use time as an excuse, just like it's easy to use money as an excuse. They're probably the two biggest things actually that I notice as excuses. No time, no money. So are these really true if you find yourself saying that, for example? It might also be important by the time we get to Tuesday to look at our priorities and shuffle things up a bit. Things have been changing, and there's been some things come to the forefront of our priorities, or what we're doing with our time and our thinking, our attention, that may be pushing to the front right now because it's urgent, for example, or this is top priority. It probably won't stay there, but for now, we might find that things need to shuffle because our priorities are shifting a bit. And this happens. So let's flow and move our priorities as accordingly. And there might be some things that need to just sit on the back burner for a little bit while we work out this more urgent priority. So looking at our routine, how we spend our time, our priorities, is the white tiger. And then the unicorn is card 50, and it says psychic gifts, spiritual intuition, and trust. So first of all, this is highlighting our spiritual interests and the things that are important to us on a spiritual level that help us connect spiritually. So if these things have been maybe something you've been talking about, haven't been making time for, then this would definitely can relate here, or there's this relationship between the cards. Making time to dive into or develop or maintain your spiritual connections in whatever way that is for you. Another element of this unicorn card is about the third eye chakra here. And there's a strong element here around trusting in our intuition as we work out what needs changing and what needs adjusting and what needs improving about our schedule, our priorities, and how we spend our time. So we can trust in our intuition to guide us, but let's also make sure that there's a good dose of rationality and common sense in there as well, because until we've really honed our intuition, in fact, I must say, now I'm thinking about it, like I've got a fairly honed intuition and I trust it 100%, no doubt. But I must say, at this point where I'm trusting my intuition so much and it's accurate for me, it's right for me, my intuition's for me, your intuition's for you. I'm sitting here trusting my intuition as I share, and I know and hope and encourage you to trust your intuition as you receive the guidance and the information that you need to hear, and it won't be everything. So as I'm sitting here talking about this and the rationality, common sense element, I find that as I'm quite switched on intuitively and I trust it really well and I use it in my everyday life all the time, like my intuition is important to me 100% of my day. I do have to mix that now with a dose of rationality and common sense as well. I've got to temper or decide how far I want to push what my intuition is egging me to do. And there will be times where I'll say, no, I'm not going to be doing that kind of thing because it doesn't match with my truth, or it doesn't, or not necessarily match with my truth, but it doesn't align with my sense of common sense. So I find that I have to work with these elements together and that they molding these together in almost like a ball or a sphere of some sort. That helps me use these skills, both of the skills, the intuition, the softer intuitive side, and the more rational common sense side, use these together to help me navigate my way through my everyday life things. So it's not intuition 100% and I drop all common sense. That would be ridiculous for me. And it's not all common sense and rationality and no intuition, because that wouldn't work for me either. So it's just about working and fitting them in somehow. And as you trust more in your intuition, and well, hopefully we're already trusting in our common sense and rationality. Uh, Geez, that drained fast. As we're doing that, then we get to know these and figure out how they fit together. So that's what I'm feeling there as well, and that's for Tuesday. So I trust that makes sense. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to pull a theme card to go. Where are my cards? Theme card to go. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this connection, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love if you're watching on Facebook, and please comment or share if you're inspired to. I think for at least for now, I'm going to stick with lives on YouTube. I think it just works much better. And then we share the videos back on Facebook like I did in with YouTube. We're just switching things up a little bit. So I'm going to stay the course with this, at least for the near future, and just keep plodding along. I think it just works better. And yeah, please have a look on my website if you'd like to work with my cards here, or learn more about the work I do at Temple of Balance. Please visit templeofbalance.com.au. Okay, let's grab our best card for the theme. So I'm looking for the best card for the theme for this week, starting the 21st of June through till the 27th of June 2023. And this card will help us see the bigger picture for this week ahead. So the best card for our theme for the majority of us is this Speed of Light Oracle card. And it's this, the Shadow. Shock horror. I'm sure not many of us would be shocked at this card. It's card 36 called Shadow. And it says shape-shifting, hidden, release, and raven. This is highlighting this, and what it feels to me is like this movement of darkness that's coming in under our life or under our body or under us. And it's like a life of its own almost. And it feels like it contains our fear, our insecurities, our issues, our projections at this time, our bad habits, our negativity, and all these things that sort of sit in the shadows underneath us in our life. And maybe it's full of shit, but it just sits there hovering, but it feels like it has a life of its own, and it feels like it moves and it manipulates, and it taps into our insecurities and sort of uses those as a way in, like a gate, a way into our consciousness is through those insecurities and those triggers, and our low state that we might feel kind of is potential for the shadow to step up to the fore and into the driver's seat of our life. So I can feel this hovering and moving around us, underneath us, and it probably feels like something's brewing, something's building, something's coming that feels really uncomfortable. And there might be an inevitable feeling here too, like this that's coming is inevitable. It's coming. It's just a matter of when, and it's a matter of how. And it could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be next month, it could be next year. We don't know when. So there's this brewing of like a witch's brew, brewing underneath, and it's uncomfortable, and it can pull us down. So this card's about that shadowy energy and tapping into that, or recognizing that it's there, not ignoring it, because if we ignore it, it's going to get louder. Not ignoring it, but also shifting that and changing the heaviness and the daunted feeling that it has, shifting that into maybe something that we welcome in a way, or that we take steps to accept or look at now, so it doesn't all just compound onto us when something happens. So there is a sense of getting familiar with the shadow and bringing, which is basically bringing light into the darkness, or bringing, turning the unknown into known, bringing order into the chaos, that sort of thing. And this is very much about that energy shifting this week is our theme. So, yes, the darkness is around. Yes, we may feel petrified and scared, and we might feel insecure and we might feel triggered, but let's also bring the light in. It reminds me of what I was talking about yesterday when I was driving somewhere. There's something I had to do, and I was not really wanting to be there, and I was feeling all heavy and negative about it. So I put on some pop music from the 80s and was just singing my head off to this music and just putting everything out that I was worried about out of my mind. And it really helped me go into that with a more positive mindset. So I shifted out of feeling miserable and negative, which no one likes to be around people who are miserable and negative. And I didn't want to be that person. So I took the time to shift things up for myself. We might find we need to do that this week so that we can keep things going and keep things shifting in a positive, good direction that is supportive and healthy for us. So, the shadow. Thank you so much for joining me today. I trust this supports you. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.